make it worse. You play the victim too. Insecure, surviving with broken
Welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz, LoveTalk. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. I was a little bit delayed because I was watching the second anniversary of the insurrection. So they were the legislators are on the Capitol steps, having a moment of silence and remembering those that lost their lives, defending the Capitol, and it's quite moving to sort of see people come and say their loved ones' names out loud, and to see children, call their father's name. So I didn't realize 2 years had come and gone. To me, it just feels like last month, but 2-year anniversary, January 6th. And it's a tough day. I don't care where you stand on this. I don't care what your political leanings are. Stuff like that can't happen. Like that just can't be how we operate in this country. It just can't. And anybody that thinks that that's the way to go is crazy, and doesn't know anything about American history or what America means, or they're not invested in creating an America for all. That's what it comes down to, as far as I'm concerned. That you would that you would go with that kind of violence against your own citizens and police. The police that you say you care so deeply about. Where does the blue lives matter? Does blue lives matter for some police and not all police? Let's try to understand. And a carnival barker delivered these orders to go and march on this Capitol in this way. I really think that they were just good old boys trying to, thinking they got some privileges and power to do this. And they did. And one by one, they all go to jail. They all catch it. They all have to pay for doing this. And I'm still trying to figure out how somebody like Donald Trump could get anybody to do anything is beyond the pale for me. Like he's stupid, and y'all just follow the stupid. I don't get it. I never got it. I'm still shocked that he was president. And that made me really understand that there are people in this country that do not care about this country. I don't care what you say. I don't care, because that's not how you do things. And if your fear drives you to the place of you're so afraid of other, and you don't even know what the other is. You know what other is? Artificial intelligence. It's not other people. It's not other people from other countries coming in here that's going to take over. That's not going to be it. That's not going to be it. It's going to be artificial intelligence that's going to do us all in. But hear me now, hear me later. No, you don't, because you just think these little Mexicans or whoever's coming over here is going to buy up all the Taco Bell. I'm just trying to understand what people's fears are, that, immigrants and migrants are coming over here and doing what? They're not raping and killing. You white people over here cornered the market on that. Mexican people ain't walking into schools killing kids. They're not walking into malls killing people. They're not doing any of that. You know who's doing that? White people. Americans. white Americans are doing that. Mexicans are not coming across the border doing that. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? But you see what you see, and you believe what you believe because you're fed a steady diet of misinformation. And when they put a face on whatever they think the ills are in this country, and they put a brown face on it, then everybody just assumes, oh, well, this is the problem. No shade to the Eastern Europeans that come over here without even so much as a blink, right? No one bats one eyebrow, raises one eyebrow when Eastern Europeans come over here. Not one. Not one. But somehow or other, these brown people and black people come over here, and everybody's like, oh my God, they're taking everything from us. And I don't know what the everything is. Because you're not willing to go in the fields and pick grapes for wine, but you enjoy wine. You're not willing to go in the fields and pick produce, but you like fresh produce in your grocery stores. You're not willing to do day labor work, but you want tall buildings and you want progress. See what I'm saying? So January 6th was a real eye-opener for those of us who pay attention to the arc of history and know something about the history of this country and know something about white supremacy and the insidiousness of white supremacy. You know what I mean? So I know why people out there want to have conversations about class and race. For me, it always comes down to race. You know, it comes down, and I don't read right-wing propaganda. I don't do that. I came through a HBCU. I came through a historically Black college. So I am biased toward Black people. I am hella biased toward the liberation, protection, and the future growth of Black people. That I don't know how to, there's no coming away from that. So I know white supremacy when I see it. And don't get me wrong, there's some other folks carrying out the deeds of white supremacy who ain't white. I understand that too. Make no mistake, I understand that. You know, so but the majority of my smoke falls at the feet of white folks, and white folks in places where they keep their boot on the necks of people. Just saying. You know, I'm just saying. And so when you start to lay out the history of things, when you start to lay out how can the people who are less than 12% of the entire population be 75% of the penal system, how is that even possible? When we're not the ones that consume or buy the most drugs in this country. So figure that out for me. Then get back to me. Talk to me about redlining and how that is still going on. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about, you know, how Tulsa and Rosewood and Wilmington and so many other countless unknown cities and towns can be burnt to the ground by white folks because what? You know, so I just want people to sort of pay attention to history. No, history does not repeat itself. And I hate when people say that. It doesn't repeat itself. What it does do, though, gives us a roadmap from where we were to where we could be. And if we don't look and pay attention, we are doomed to sort of put ourselves in situations that don't bode well for the growth, development, and security of this country. That's the part. That's the part. So when you see people coming across the border, they're not, it's not so much that they want to just come over here and run this country. No, they're running from tyranny and oppression. They want what we want, a better place to live, a better place to educate their kids. They want safety. That's like what we want, you know. And until we invest in stabilizing the countries of where they come from, then we're going to have this, right? We're going to have this. So we have a cartel problem. Why do we have a cartel problem? Because the desire for those kinds of drugs are greater than the desire for not. And until we address that part, until we address the market, because let me tell you something, this is what I know. Those cartels can't exist if it wasn't lucrative, and it's lucrative. If it wasn't lucrative, they wouldn't be doing it. They wouldn't kill whole communities of people. They wouldn't have people working for them, and they wouldn't be enslaving people if it was not lucrative. So who are the buyers of these products? Well, look to America, look to other countries, cut the demand for that foolishness. But they're not. You know why? Because that money trickles into that money makes its way into all kinds of things that fund all kinds of things here and abroad. So that's why that pipeline is not going to be cut, because there's too much money. It's too much money running drugs. It's too much. It's too much money, So we have to decide as a country, can we get rid of that money? Help secure other countries so that their people can live in peace. But we're not willing to do that. And we could collectively do that. I mean, we could collectively say, and I don't mean these little stupid statements, a war on drugs. We have a war on drugs. No, we don't have a war on nothing. What we're going to do is help neighboring countries build their infrastructure and build their countries so that they don't have to leave their country in fear because it's being overrun by a drug trade that does not benefit them. Who benefits from the drug trade? Not the people who are the mules, not the people who are living in fear, not them. This stuff has to be moved. How is it being moved? Who benefits from moving it? What does it pay for? Do you know what I mean? But we're not doing that. we kind of doing it. We ain't doing it. I'm just saying, tyranny in the world is tyranny, and we have the power to do all kinds of things. We just don't do them. I don't care what anybody says. We have the power to do all kinds of things. So when I see these people running with their children across the border, running with their children to unknown lands with their children in tow, you have to know when you leave a place with your children that the place that you're leaving is so unsafe that you will do anything and everything to get out with your kids. Think about that. Think about that. Think about if you at your house and you got to get out your house with your kids because it's unsafe. Where you going to go? What you going to do? Who you going to connect to? So we have to sort of really think about this globally. We have to enlist other countries to sort of do this work globally. And it can't be, well, these countries, they want to do the work, but they want to benefit too. I hate that drugs are so lucrative. I do. I hate that human trafficking is lucrative. I hate that. I hate the fact that people have no regard for humanity other than to sell other people. I hate that. I hate it with a passion. And it's people that we know, not know oh, they are our friends, but they're people that we know, we watch, we pay attention, we know what's going on. People who sell children are the worst kind of human beings. The worst kind. The worst kind. The worst kind. And the fact that we miseducate everyone, our children, our neighbors, our friends, about what this is and what it looks like and who's doing it. The fact that we don't do enough of that is disheartening to me. Oh, we don't want to make people, we have a country full of angry people for some reason. Lots and lots of angry people. Lots and lots and lots of angry people who don't mind picking up guns and killing a whole bunch of people because of their own angst. And I'm tired of everybody laying this at the feet of mental health professionals and the lack of mental health. Okay. All right. That may be true, but the mental health profession is not the only profession that ought to get some of this smoke. Gun manufacturers and folks who want people to have guns all willy-nilly without any listen, I can't even go in the drugstore and get antihistamines without checks and balances. Antihistamines. Do you know what I mean? Like it's behind the counter, locked the hell up. Like I can't go in there, and God knows, don't let me try to buy 2 or 3 bottles of it. Can't. But I could. But we don't want checks and balances on firearms. Oh, we have laws. We're not enforcing them. Stop it. We have some of the weakest laws on the planet. Because if those laws were strong, we'd shut this down. They don't want background. Why don't you want background checks on somebody before they buy a firearm? You have to get a background check before you buy a damn house, before you buy a car. Like they check your financial history. They want to know if you have a job. They want to know if you'll be able to make these payments. Why don't we want that for a firearm? Help me understand. What? Please don't tell me amendment anything. Don't tell me amendment nothing. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm going to say? Then everybody gets armed with a musket. Because when that was written, that's what you had, muskets. So everybody gets a musket. Your Second Amendment goes toward a musket. You're going to give up your Glocks, your automatic, all those things. You have to have a musket at the house. Stop it. And we just go to the absurd so fast. So fast. I don't see nobody advocating for muskets. I don't see it. Let me know. I don't see it. You want a gun, you get a musket. You want a gun at the house, have a musket. You want to carry a weapon, carry a musket. That's it. All this other stuff is off limits. Everything, your Glocks, your other automatic firearms, right? All that off limits. You want to carry a gun, you carry a musket. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I know people feel some kind of way about that. You know, they I have the right to bear arms. All right, you do. Muskets. Everybody gets a musket. Get a musket. A musket. I just had enough. And I was thinking about, I tell you what, before, when crimes, when crimes are committed, they always want to know motive. And I used to think, well, the fact that they did it is enough for me. But looking at this Colorado case of these college students and this grad student who killed them, I want to know what his motive is, because I for the life of me, I don't understand how you could just roll up in somebody's house at 4 a.m. with a knife and kill them all but two, all but two. Like he just went in there and just killed them. And I was like, why? And then, he was, I don't understand. People don't know that, your car is under surveillance. Everything, we are all under surveillance, unwittingly and just by happenstance. We are all under surveillance, I mean, everybody's got Ring doorbells and because they need to see, people feel safe when they know if somebody's approaching their house, by their house, near the house. So, and then there's cameras because traffic calming, all the things. And they saw that he drove by their house a bunch of times, right? Like he was in their neighborhood. So I don't know if he knew them, if he was jealous of them, if he was digging these chicks, not digging them, wanting to get near them. They didn't give him the time of day. Maybe they snubbed. I don't know. But I want to know, because this is just the level, because you're a grad student, you working on stuff, you about to finish. What are you doing? Why are you killing people? What made you say, get up that morning and be like, I'm gonna go kill some people? Like, what is that? I want to know. For the first time in a long time, I've been interested in motive. I'm really interested in motive. So he's been extradited back to Colorado. And I don't know if he's talking or whatever, but at some point he's going to have to say, or maybe he won't. Maybe he'll never say. Maybe we'll never know, why he killed people, why he killed these people, And I'd like to hear from the folks who survived it, who lived through it. It's like, gosh. And, my first thought was, well, all of y'all in the house is just one of him. Y'all couldn't have kicked that ass. But you know what? Somebody rolls up on you at 4 o'clock in the morning, you dead sleep or whatever. And then they had a DoorDash delivery or something. But I mean, that's just one of these things that's so unexpected. Who expect to be murdered in their house? No one. No one. So, and at 4 o'clock, you're in your pajamas or naked, and you're vulnerable, all the things. Oh, I don't know. I just don't know. And then he leaves, and then he has the nerve to come back. And it would take 8 hours before, anybody was notified, like 911 was called. I would have been scared out of my mind, but geez. I don't know. I am interested in the motive for that. I will tell you, I am interested in the motive because I just think, I just want to know what his thinking is. I just want to know, like, what happened. Because I think people want to know, like, what triggered this? What's the problem? What is happening? What did he want to be in that clique and couldn't be in that clique because he was too old to be in that clique? Did they snub him and they didn't realize they snubbed? Like, I don't know. I just want to know, though. So I'm paying attention to this case. He waived his right to extradition, so he's brought on back. And the families are keeping a cool head. I mean, I know it's painful, and to see all the videos of their kids, at a party, they all left the party. I mean, they did all the right things. We always tell our kids when you're in college or whatever, you go to a party, don't leave by yourself. Leave with your friends, leave with the people you came with. Make sure everybody's accounted for. I mean, they did all the things right. The other girls were out with their boyfriends. They got back. Everybody got back. Everybody, they got back. They weren't out to like how I get down, but they were, they was all home by 2 a.m., that kind of stuff. So that was just painful. It's not more painful than the other murder. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it captured my attention because it was just so heinous. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you just walk into a house and kill kids? How do you do that with a knife? Like, what? And from what I understand, they were fighting back. Their wounds were defensive. Some of them were fighting back. So I don't know what you do in those moments when the end is nigh, and you don't know. You're just like, gosh, what the hell is happening? You're trying to make sense of it. And it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Crazy. So anyway, I just feel some kind of way about that. But I'm going to pay attention because I want to hear what the thinking is. I want to hear. I believe there was another shooting, somewhere. And I tend to not want to go to malls anymore and stuff like that. Not because I'm afraid. I just don't know when things are gonna jump off. Oh yeah, so there was a shooting yesterday in Florida, Miami Gardens, and 10 people were injured. So I'm looking at there's a gun violence archive. So there was a shooting January 5th in Louisiana, New Orleans, St. Andrews Street and Reverend John Raphael Jr. Way. 2 people were killed, 3 were injured. Like, what is the number that we could get at that makes us say, okay, we're going to stop this? Like, what is that number? And now this is since January 1st. So January 1st in Florida, 2 people were killed, 4 were injured. In Ocala. Is it Ocala? Osala? Ocala? And then Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Illinois, Ohio. That's just January 1. January 3rd, Louisiana, DC, January 4th, Virginia, Utah, Maryland, Louisiana, Florida. Like, what's the number? What is the number? What is the number that we will find unconscionable? What is the number of deaths that is unconscionable? Unconscionable. I think, and I keep thinking that we're going to reach a threshold where people are going to say, okay, that is it. I don't know what that number, for the life of me, I don't know what that number is. Because as I say to people all the time, I'm still in Sandy Hook. If we didn't move the needle with them babies being killed in their schools with their teachers, then our hearts and minds are numb, and we're not going to do anything for. And we've since, and that was 10 years ago. So now we've since seen all kinds of mass shootings, and we just seen another school shot up and kids killed. I mean, so I just want to know what the number is. What is the number that we could collectively get to and be outraged enough to say across the board, okay, we have to get serious about this. This is done. Everybody gets a musket. Everybody gets a musket. I think it should be hard. I think it should be hard to get a gun. I really do. I don't think you should be able to just get a gun because you walk into a store and buy one, or you go to some trade show, conference thing, and you could buy one. I don't think you can. I mean, you can't even sell cigarettes to kids, right? Like, you can't walk into liquor stores and be, get liquor any old kind of way. There's rules to that. So if we have rules to that, why don't we have rules to this? And please don't come at me with, well, we do have rules. They have to be enforced. Come on now. Stop saying that. You and I both know that's not the entire truth. That's not the entire truth. And we could do so much more. The same way when we make everybody wear seatbelts. And if you don't wear a seatbelt, there's consequences to that. Right? Like, we know how to regulate stuff. We're not new to regulating things. We're not new to regulating hazardous things. The reason why you don't have nuclear weapons at your house is because you're not allowed to have nuclear weapons. So we know how to regulate things. We know. We just don't want to because we're so worried. And I tell anybody, that's what I say. Everybody should join the NRA and take it over. Just take it from them. Just take it from them and make it what you want. Just take it. If every Black sorority fraternity person joined the NRA and every Latino group joined the NRA and everybody joined the NRA, we just wrestle it from them. What are they going to do? We come into it fair, easy, just the way they did. Pay our dues, show up and vote, take it over. That's what I suggest. Just take it over. What are they going to do? Go start another one? And every time they start something, we just go take it over. Seriously. That's change. Start there. It's got to be a several prong activity, right? A several prong plan. Take over the NRA, press legislators on better gun safety laws, get in front of gun manufacturers and say, listen, you better put some other checks and balances in these guns. You better start, whenever somebody buys a gun, it has its own unique serial number to it to them. And they can only buy these kind of bullets for the gun. And they got to be numbered too. And they got to be connected to the, you know what I mean? Like, there's all kinds of stuff that you could do. Like I have a VIN number on my car. You know what I'm saying? If you could track the mileage on my car, you should be able to track a damn gun. That's all I'm saying. And maybe we are doing some of that. Maybe we are. But I just know too many guns have ended up in places they shouldn't be. I don't know any gun manufacturers in the inner cities across America. You know any? Let me know. I could be wrong. Tell me. I want to know. I'm an inquiring mind. So until and listen, I'm a former firearm owner, a licensed firearm owner. So I know. And I had firearms in my house. I had a walk-in safe and a safe put in the closet because my then husband was all about it. And so I was all about it. So I know. I'm no stranger to guns, firearms, and firearm safety. And I had children. And we were very clear, conscious about firearm safety. You know, ammunition, bullets and stuff were never kept next to guns. They had their own safe for that stuff. Guns, even though they were empty, no bullets in the chain, nothing. They had their own locks on them. Listen, we had a safe that was fingerprint accessible. We wasn't playing. Had all that stuff because safety first. You're gonna have that kind of stuff. You got to be safe with it. So anyway, I don't know why I got on that lament about guns. I think what the point that I'm making is that we have the capacity to do anything. To do anything. We just don't have the will. We don't have the political will to do it. But we have the capacity. We have the understanding and the intellect to do it. That's what I'm saying. So if we want a better world, everybody got to do their part to make it a better world. So find something that you care about and engage in it. Write the letters, march, protest, call, whatever you have to do. Not whatever you have to do, like be safe. Like don't be an insurrectionist. I'm not advocating for that. I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying there are all kinds of ways to exact change. And change is slow. But if you keep working at it, you could get it done. Ask Gary Winfield, he'll tell you 10 years working on ending the death penalty, 10 years to convince people that the state shouldn't be killing people. 10 years of saying, no, we really shouldn't be in the business of killing people. I know they committed a heinous crime, but do we really want to be like killing people too? Like what makes us better than them if we're killing people? That's not justice. That is not justice. I know people think it is. It is not. That's not justice. Anyway, good people, I gotta go. But it's been my pleasure. I'll be back on Monday to chat you up some more. I'll start lining up some guests, have some people to come on. We'll do all the things. You know how we do. It's a new year. Happy to be sitting in the big chair. Thank you all so much for listening. And I'll be back on Monday. Y'all be safe. Thanks, Harry, for a week. I'll see you on Monday. Bye now.
We'll keep trying.